Ringo TV Reactions back at you again with another one. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
Young nigga about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Yeah. True man, I'm free. I wake up a new episode. I pop out clean as keep me up a level though. She talk to me like I'm not me. I get it though. Yeah. I'm so eclectic, on me to the credits roll. Talk down to me, they might have to send medical. I'm out the league, I'm OD, they pathetic though. Look how I move, I'm protected. Shawty so swoon in my presence. The world going through it outside, they unruly, but I keep it cool, they can't press me. I keep it pure with intention. They see what I'm on, ain't no vixen. I might slide through with that top down. I keep it tuned with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid. I don't see a thing about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Young nigga about that paper. 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 Hop on that jet, had to switch to the coast. One of a kind, I've been playing that role. They pay me to play me, I needed it for. It's real if I said I meant what I spoke. I'm legend, it's written, I shake up the city. Spin block till I'm dizzy, won't ever go broke. I'm chose, I must like do it, I top down. I keep in tune with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, man, the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid. I don't see a thing about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper. Young nigga about that paper. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Big bag, but I fix the sky, no stress. Can't ground me, I know this since when I had less. Look at how far we progress. Fluid, I don't see a threat.
Blessings, y'all. Well, I decided to do another video because once I seen Ringo's how he broke down my testimony, and I think there's some unanswered questions, and the ending of my story as well. I know it was hard to remember everything, you know, so like I said, I might forget some of the stuff that I wanted to say and all that. So I wanted to explain the rest of it, I guess, because there's a little bit more that was left out on my part, and there wasn't no clarification of what happened to my wife or anything like that, and I wasn't there no more. So that's why I didn't really say anything, because I figured somebody else would. So I'm going to tell you the part that I know, what my daughter told me and my ex-wife, and what happened after I left too. There was a little bit I left about that. So after I left, I'm gonna kind of get back to where I left off in the other video. After that brother told me that, and I figured everything out, blah blah blah. So I started trying to get my life to get, you know. This wasn't shortly after. I got divorce papers in the mail at my daughter's house. This was from Straightway. It was sent from Heather, but you could see how detailed and what it all is and said. You could tell who did it. It was Heather. Just wasn't gonna do all. She didn't know how to do all that like it was. Anyways, so on these divorce papers, it said that I wouldn't go after her for any type of child support, this or that, and they wanted me to sign these. I'm like, I ain't signing shit. Sorry, but I ain't signing shit. No. And she's trying to give me divorce papers. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha there. So I didn't sign no papers. Nothing. So what they did was, by law, you can act like you can't find the person. So you can submit like a thing in the newspaper or something. And if they don't respond, like a missing person, and if they don't respond, she has legal right to divorce me without me even signing anything. I never signed a paper ever. One paper. Never with our divorce. But we got divorced. That's how they did it. They did that just like that. That's how they divorced us. So yeah. And I didn't know we were divorced. I don't know. It was a while before I found out, actually. It was like, I'm not sure the time, but it was like 9-12 months. It was almost a year or something. It might even been over a year before I actually found out we were divorced. I had no clue because I never got anything about it. Nothing. The only thing I ever got was that paper that they sent me that they wanted me to sign, basically clearing all my rights because Dowell didn't want to give up no money. Because after I left, what I was told was she went back to Tennessee. I'm not sure how long she was there. I thought they said it was like a couple weeks, but I'm not sure. I don't know because, like I said, I wasn't there. So that's why I didn't speak on it, because I don't know. But guess what else? Guess what else I got to say? And I'm not trying to dog her in any way at all on any of this, because I understand the manipulation she was under. I don't agree with what her actions were, but I understand it and it's forgivable, so I understand. So when I said we were friends, because she's the mother of my children, I still honor that. You get it? I mean, but like I said, it's different because basically they convinced her to be with an elder there. Yeah. The elder's wife, she was convincing her, and I'm sure the other two Tweety birds that already been in the whole situation the whole time. So, the pastor and the head elder, I thought the people should know that part too. Because that was something that I didn't really know what happened. I do because they both told me. This came from my daughter and Heather. Heather lives with my daughter right now still. Like I said, I'll say hi, stuff like that, but it's not like we're, you know what I'm saying? I don't hold no ill will, no. But it is what it is, So I figured that people should know that part, how it actually, what happened, because there's a little bit more there than just Dowell as well. And I don't know who else is doing it, but if them two are doing it, it's trickling down. I guaranteed it's trickling down because it's okay in their eyes. It's a bunch of bullshit in my eyes. So if you're there, you better watch your wife. And I suggest you leave. And I suggest you not fellowship with them people no more. Because that leader, and obviously the elders, they're going after your wives. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. They're going after your wives. So, I'm not trying to make this all day long. I just wanted to finish the rest of my testimony and the journey And this is a big part that I should have said the first time, but I was trying to keep it short, and I didn't really, it's hard to remember everything, you know, but yeah, so Ringo, I hope you play this, because this is the rest of it, and the people need to hear this part too, because it's very important that they hear this too. That's why I came back. Like I said, I'm not trying to start no trouble, but if we're talking about the truth, let's bring the truth out. Let's not hide it or pretend we didn't see it the first time. Bullshit. Yes, I did. I seen it the first time, and I don't play no more about that. Not at all. All of my eyes are open. All of them. I see very clear. My bullshit detector's on point. Believe that. Believe that. I see clear. So, anyways, thank you again. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to play this, and I hope you do. But thank you very much. Thank you. Much love, brother. Much love. Peace.
Behold, you are weak. Embrace the shadows.
Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. A man goes to the church, goes to Straightway. And rather than him getting closer with the Most High, men in the church are getting closer with his wife. This is what's going on. Jaime's testimony is one of many of men abusing their power, taking advantage of women in order to take them as wives. That's what's going on. Pastor Dowell is guilty of taking another man's wife. We talked about that in the adultery video. And up to now, he still can't confess his sins. He still can't admit fault. Jaime decides to share more. And basically, Straightway is the one who pushed his wife to get a divorce. They did not tell her, you know, the Bible says, be reconciled to your husband. They encouraged it because this is what they do. Hide your wives, hide your daughters. This is something you got to do. It's a sad situation when we have to share this kind of information with adults that should know better. Imagine losing your wife to men that claim they follow the Most High. Imagine what it does to a man's faith to realize that you put your trust in a community to protect your women. And instead, their goal is to cause disturbances in your home only to take your wives, use the loopholes in the system in order to legally get a divorce. And then they take your wife. Isn't that shameful? But that's what's going on in society. Elder Becker, are you the one who slept with another man's wife? Are you the one? It seems as if though adultery is running rampant at Straightway. First, Pastor Dowell takes Eric's wife, got her right now in the church, doing all sorts of things. Another elder decides, I'm going to take Jaime's wife. And what's interesting is that all of these men are following their cult leader master who passed away. Same blueprint, the same compound, the same allegations. Taking women, using them, sexually exploiting them, because they know that these women are weak. They know that these women are in need of a savior. And rather than they bring these women to the Messiah, they bring them to their beds. They pervert biblical truth. They pervert scriptures. They even pervert the union of polygyny. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people have a difficulty even understanding it. Because communities like Straightway, they're not really following the Bible. The Bible makes it very clear that a woman is bound to her husband as long as he lives. But Straightway don't believe in that. They believe they can do whatever they want. Imagine how many more wives are a part of that community. The Bible says to covet not thy neighbor's wife. But Pastor Dowell done that. Elder Becker, he done that. And I am believing all of the men of Straightway have done that. Coveting other men's wives and using polygyny as an scapegoat to justify your actions. Imagine you bring your wife to the community and the men are already plotting. They're already plotting on how they're going to take your wife from you. And then you're left broken, having to pick up the pieces, having to go home by yourself without your wife. As your wife is deceived under the bondage of the devil, under the strong delusion of a pastor, a wolf in sheep's clothing, with no soul, unrepentant. You can't rebuke him. You can't correct him, because in his eyes, he's God. That's your Pastor Dowell's. That's all of the elders at Straightway. All of the pastors at Straightway. They all think the same way. There's a special place in the lake of fire for them. for the amount of abuse they have done, all of the families they have crushed. A special place. Very, very special place. And it's really sad. You could tell by Jaime's testimony that he was shocked to know that Straightway did this. They set up the paperwork because his wife didn't know how to do that. So they found a loophole and they said, you know what? If he don't respond, we can make it look like he's missing and legally get a divorce from him. No woman in the Bible has ever divorced a man. It's not even in the book. A woman can't even give a man a writing of divorce. It's not in the book. This just goes to show how wicked Straightway is, that they allowed that. Because what they're trying to do is make sure that all of their elders and pastors and bishops and deacons, that they all have a wife to bring to bed. Because these men really can't have women. They really can't. They really don't know what else to do because they're guilty of all sorts of sins, all sorts of evil. And it's really, really bad. Imagine you go to church because you're seeking the Most High. You go to a community. It looks attractive to the eyes, but deep down inside, they just want your wife. These men are guilty. All of the men of Straightway are guilty. And I'm calling for all of the women, all the women that have been hurt, women that have suffered under the watchful eye of Straightway Ministries, led by Dowell and various other elders and pastors. I'm calling for you to step forward, make a video, send it to me, tell me your story. We'll put your story out there. We'll review the tapes. We'll make your voice be heard. We'll make the whole world hear your voice. It's time for your voice to be heard. Because a lot of these men are following the blueprint of their leader. Do you understand? Their leader, Star, whatever his name is. We got a lot of content we're going to do with him. You understand? All of these cult leaders have a blueprint. And these are the students of such a man that is all in the newspapers with all sorts of allegations and charges and various other things of exploiting women and doing the unthinkable. That's right. A lot has to be said about this case. I could just imagine the fear a lot of women must be in. Afraid to speak out because they don't got nowhere to go. They're trapped in religion, trapped on a plantation. I saw a video of women at Straightway in the field picking something from the ground, and it just looked like slaves picking cotton. That's exactly what it is. Slavery. Bring the women in, bring the men in, have the men building all the houses while the women are in the field. You get it? And that give the men access to the women while their husbands are working on a house. But nobody actually owns anything. Where are the residents of Straightway community that actually have title deeds, ownership of land, ownership of homes? Where is it? It seems like a community where everyone is renting. But Dowell loves to masquerade himself as one who build houses and people could live in them debt-free. Well, if it's debt-free, how come they're paying you their checks? How come the people are giving you all of their money and they have to get an allowance from you? You have to be one evil man to seduce people in so that they can be lord to your land. Your name is on the title deed. Your name is on the land. No one have an inheritance. What about the children's children? What about the mothers and the daughters? They don't own nothing. They have no savings, nothing. They're trapped. They're in captivity. That's what's going on right now. It's really, really sad. But let's get to these tapes. We got to find out what's going on. It's very important because it's just sad out here, man. It's very, very sad.
Hey, shalom, much shalom, and good morning, saints of the Most High, and YouTube audience. This is Elder Douglas Becker. I'm going to, y'all willing, take a few minutes here to do my best to try to, at least my hope is to touch on a subject here that I can't recall if it's ever really been talked about. And the only reason I really bring it up is because, as a great deal of you know, and as I said before, is that I handle a tremendous amount of the call volume that comes through the ministry here. And I get a plethora of questions ranging from all different kind of topics. But obviously, and most sensibly, it would be questions that pertain to the Word. Get a lot of newer people, and some of the ones that, of course, the ones that have been established in the ministry for a while. And it's I usually pay, when I hear the same kind of questions come up, within a couple weeks or 2 to 3 weeks or whatever the case may be, it gets my radar up. And I've actually had a particular subject brought up to me on multiple times here in the last month or so. And, they're the ones that stand out. And so I just figured I'd just put it out here and let you know what kind of answer I've been given this particular question, but it has to do with polygyny. And it has to do with a woman's privacy.
Now, think about what's happening here. Elder Becker is in this video pretty much talking about polygyny. He claimed that he's getting a lot of questions. He claimed that he's the one who answers the phone. He's the one who's doing all of these different things. That's what he claims. It's interesting that in this particular video at that point of time, this man is answering these questions. Now you have to ask yourself, why would this man be talking about this subject in terms of polygyny? It's because he also has an interest in polygyny, which means on the low key, he himself is also dabbling in it. Now, polygyny is biblical. The problem with Straightway is that they're not getting their own wives. They're taking other men's wives. That's the problem. And then the virgin women are being sold, literally sold as a piece of meat to dirty old men for a price. That's what's going on. And it looks good from a surface, but you got to think and you got to ask yourself this question. What are those ladies going to do if these men get tired of them, pass away prematurely? What are they going to do? Where is their inheritance? Are they going to be able to survive on their own? They don't have no skills to work, to provide for themselves. They don't have anything. And as soon as they get these young ladies, they breed them up immediately, ensuring that they're locking them down. They'll put 2 to 4 kids inside of them. Now these women are totally dependent upon them. They're unable to leave. And when they say they live a set apart life, that's not even an understatement, because when you really think about it, when they say set apart, they literally have no real communication with anyone. They can't do the normal things that you can do. Like say, hey, today I want to go over here. You got to ask permission. There's a lot of things they can't do that you do every day. And it's really sad, man, because a lot of them are not really living their life. Their life is literally passing them by. We even seen this in a video with Erica disrespecting her father. She really believed that everything is going to always be the way it is. Eventually, she's going to get older. And if she don't reconcile with her father, she's going to live with that regret. Let's get back to the tapes, find out what's going on.
As an Ashaya to her master. As in a
Did you hear that? As a Shia to her master. At Straightway, all of the women call these men master. That's what they address them as. Master. Could you believe that? The women of Straightway, all the women that have a husband, they address him as master. And what Dowell has essentially done is he took one verse of scripture of Sarah, right? Calling Abram master, Lord, whatever the case is. And now they got all the women calling them master. All of this is slavery tactics, if you really think about it, because that's what we had to call the slave masters. Wow. Let me play that back so you can hear it for yourself. Listen to this.
A woman's privacy as an Ashaya to her master.
Wow.
As in a home that has multiple Ashayas.
Notice a home that have multiple Shias. So basically, one home, multiple wives, and they all have their quarters. Now, how many of you, with a show of a one, can recall me teaching that if a man is practicing polygyny, he have two different options. He can have a very large home that have separate rooms where if he have multiple wives, they have their own quarters. Y'all don't see how people are stealing my content? Trust and believe that. Straightway copy my content, but they pervert it. Because the women of Straightway are treated like cattle. They're not treated as wives. They're not treated as women that have thoughts. They're under total control to the point where they're robots. I'm the one who taught that if you practice polygyny, you have two options. If you're well off, you can have a house here, and then you have another house right next door, and so forth, depending on your situation. Or you can have one house, multiple rooms, where your wives have their own space. Do you understand? Or you have the third option. Your wives already have their own place. Because again, when you think about society and the world we live in, women have their own jobs, they have their own place, they have their own house. So in most instances, if you were interacting with a woman, she's not going to go give up her house. She's not going to give up her apartment. She's not going to quit her job. So under those circumstances, you have three options. Choose one. It's as simple as that. Because a lot of times when women think of polygyny, the first thing they say is, well, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Ladies, make your choices. I really don't care. My job is just to be real. Because at the end of the day, as much as you fight against polygyny, The question you have to ask yourself is this. If you really believe in monogamy so much, right? Why do you share your body with everybody? Why do you get in a relationship this week with one guy, sleep with him, break up? Get with another guy, sleep with him, break up. Get with another guy, have his baby, then you break up. Then you get with another guy and you sleep with him, one night stand, because you were just hanging out with your girls and saw a guy that you found attractive, slept with him. But you believe in monogamy. Explain that to me. I thought you said you don't share. See, that's where the cat got your tongue. That's where you fumbling, you don't know what to say. And I get it. You know, it's a natural reaction. You want to have your cake and eat it, but once a man talk about polygyny, all of a sudden he's a bad guy. But how many kids do you have by different men? Respectfully, how many kids do you have by different men? 2, 3, 4, 5? That's a lot. Different men? I thought you believe in monogamy. How come none of those relationships with all of those men didn't work out? No talk? See, the problem is monogamy don't work. Polygyny is the solution. The problem is these pastors and these so-called elders and bishops and these men, they're not doing it the right way. Instead, they're controlling the women in a negative way. There's a positive way of having control versus a negative way. Number one, they're taking other men's wives. They're perverting the scriptures. They're committing adultery. And then they're expecting the Most High to bless these marriages and these relationships. All you got to do is look at David and Bathsheba. Look at their union. That'll tell you what happens. That is exactly what happens when you go against the Most High. It's just not going to work, you know? And it's because you're in wickedness. Pastor Dowell committed a King David. Up to now, did he repent? Of course not. So if he won't repent, all the other men at Straightway are doing the same thing. And they're taking young virgin girls, breeding them up, making them wives, trapping them to the point where they have no voice. I could just imagine the possible abuse that is going on that's untold. All you got to do is look at Pastor Dowell's spiritual leader, the one that passed away over 2 years ago in his 80s. He was a cult leader. He's all over the news, all sorts of allegations and charges and a lot of bad things. And Dowell tried to disconnect from him once he saw the things that he was doing because he didn't want that tied to him. But he's just like him. They're the same. You understand? They're the same. And it's really bad, man, because when you try to talk about these things, it's like people just don't get it. All of these men follow that one guy. We're going to be doing videos about Pastor Dowell's spiritual leader and the things that he learned from him. See, what you see going on at Straightway with women, it's learned behavior. It's learned behavior because this is what went on in the other compound. This is all practiced. You would have thought that Dowell had an Israelite spiritual leader, but no. Dowell's spiritual leader was a Caucasian man. That's right. Not a black man. And we're not talking about black, white, all of that other stuff, but you got to hear what I'm saying. If Dowell is about, he's a biblical Israelite, where did he get that from? He learned that from watching the brothers. But his original teacher was a white man who had a cult. And Dowell was a part of it. That's right. Because if you came out of that cult and went and established your own, you're just like him. See, these are the type of things that people need to understand and see so they can know the truth about what's really going on at Straightway. So let's continue to listen to Elder Becker talk about polygyny. Now, again, you have to ask yourself the question. First of all, you got to think about, how old is this man? How many wives do he have? Right? And why is he the go-to man to talk about these things? Why? And why is he even talking about this now? Because, see, he know what he did. He know what's going on. You see? He knows what's happening. Did Elder Becker commit adultery with Jaime's wife at Pastor Dowell Straightway? Did that happen? Elder Doug, you got to come out. You got to come out and talk about this one. I'm calling you out to the floor. I'm calling you out. Did you take Jaime's wife and made her your own by pushing for her to get a divorce with Pastor Dowell's blessing? Did you do that? Because if you did, that would make you an adulterer. Did you sleep with that woman? If you did, you're wicked. All of you are wicked at Straightway, because that's exactly what's going on. I don't trust none of you guys, and I'll call you out to your face. So I'm calling Elder Becker. I'm calling you out. Get on camera and address these allegations. Get on camera and talk about this. Did you, Elder Becker, commit adultery with Jaime's wife at Pastor Dowell Straightway community? Did you knowingly know that y'all forced her divorce in order to take her in? Because based on what I'm learning or hearing, it doesn't appear as if though she's there no more. So the question is kind of like, so you guys took her in, turned her against her husband, and then you made her get a divorce. And then what happened next? Did you get rid of her? Did you give her a bill of divorcement? Is that what you did? Because how, if she's not there no longer at Straightway, what happened? And why nobody's talking about it at Straightway? Why it's being covered up? See, we're going to unwrap this thing so that the public can know the truth. So come on out now, wherever you are, come on out. Did you commit adultery with another man's wife while at the same time trying to preach about Yah, trying to preach about the Bible? How dare you? And if you didn't do it, then who did? We're calling all of you out. Don't hide from the light. If you're truly in the light, you'll step in the light that your deeds will be reproved. But he that hateth the light, that's the man that's wicked. This is why Pastor Dowell can't step into the light. Because when we do these videos, when we bring out this truth, it's so well put together. There's nowhere to run. It's either you did it or you didn't. And Pastor Dowell's situation is very, very disgusting because Eric's wife is now in his bed. Pastor Dowell took Eric Gonzalez's wife. Eric Gonzalez's wife. He stole his wife, committed adultery. We already played all the tapes in the previous stream that we did. And up to now, he won't address it. That just goes to show how defiant he is. He believed that he's without fault. So if the pastor is committing adultery in everyone's face and the members of Straightway can clearly see, then what does that say? It's a cult. Let's get to the tapes.
And it's really, to me, not that difficult to make an appropriate and adequate, to give, I should say, an appropriate and adequate answer, because the Bible, even though it isn't verbatim spelling out how that relationship is balanced, when a man enters into a covenant with several women, they enter into a polygynous household. But there's enough, I believe, that is written and woven into to many of the accounts we have in the Word that give us a pretty clear indication of what the structure should be as it comes to the privacy of a man's Ashaya. And I think the clearest account that we have, and a very descriptive one at that, is the account in Genesis 31, where, if you remember and recall the story, is that Laban, after the departure of Jacob and his family, Laban discovered his missing idols and his missing images. So Laban jumped on his mule, or whatever the case may be, and he went hell-bent for leather to get his idols back, because he was fully assured that somebody within Jacob's family had taken his idols. Because remember, he was an Assyrian. Okay, so he had other gods. But, when Laban, catches up with him, he demands that he's going to search everybody's premises. Now, I mean by premises, back then they dwelt in tents, okay? Our ancestors dwelt in tents. That was their homes. That was their private chambers. And as the story recounts, Laban, and as it words out, is that he entered into the tent of Jacob. He entered into the tent, singular, of Rachel, just her abode. He entered into the tent, singular, of Leah, just her tent, her private quarters. He even talks about the maid servants, and they had separate tents. So right there, based on that structure and that wording alone, should give us enough clear indication that women in polygynous relationship were afforded their own private quarters.
Do you see what he's doing? Do you see how he's setting this up? In other words, what he's setting up is the structure of Straightway and how they do this thing. So let's say if he have a house that is built, he have separate rooms, right, where he have these women. So based on the tapes, that mean that Jaime's wife had one of those rooms. She had one of those rooms. Isn't that interesting? Say it ain't so, Becker. Say it ain't so. Who did it? Did you do it? Who slept with that man's wife? Come out. Don't hide now. We exposing all the adultery. All of it. We know Dowell is in adultery right now today. But so are you. And if it's not you, then who is it? Because based on Jaime's testimony, it's very clear that his wife was given to the lead elder. What do you got to say about this, sir? You had another man's wife in bed, but y'all all talking about y'all praising the Most High? This is crazy, man. Let's go.
Now, today, don't get me wrong. I mean, do we have to go out there, men that are actually in polygyny, and build each one a home? No, you can have privacy under one roof, and we already know that to be the case with many of the polygynous relationships at Straightway Ministries. But it should be clear to see that even the custom of the ancient.
I've seen a video where somebody was alleging that Dowell is a Freemason. They made a video and, they went into a lot of details with the symbolism, the shields, the way he, put his hand over his chest when he greet people or whatever the case is, and he got all the other men in the church doing the same thing. So there's a possibility he could be a Freemason. You know what I mean? A very, very high. I'm talking about a very high chance he's a Freemason who may have taken on the I'm an Israelite situation to lure men in, if that makes sense. You get it? Because the powers that be know that the true biblical Israelites are waking up. So if they can put moles and agents in different places, it will cause us to follow after a false teacher or a man who has been already bought and paid for by the elite. You understand? Let's get back to the tapes.
Israelites was to provide, a clear place of privacy.
Now, the problem that I have with this, right? This is the problem that I really have with this. And, for the folks that are in the public, I got to make this very clear because Dowell have everything backwards. Number one, we have to look at proper order, right? Now, I'm a real biblical Israelite. This man is not. He's not supposed to be teaching nobody about the biblical Israelites and what their culture is and what this is. This doesn't make any sense. If anything, he should be learning from a man of the Most High. Do you understand me? But he's not supposed to be out here taking center stage, teaching and doing this. It's out of pocket. It's just like when Dowell called everybody in the congregation Israelites. That's a lie. You're not. If I go to China right now, I cannot say I'm Chinese. You have to be born Chinese, not born in China, because you could be born in China and be a black man. That doesn't make you Chinese. You got to be a blood Chinaman, meaning you came from the seed of a Chinaman. Do you understand? That is what makes you Chinese. Just because you're born in Japan does not make you Japanese. Is your father Japanese? Because if he's not, then you're not. You are of your father's seed. So this gentleman should not be on here talking about any of the culture of the biblical Israelites. It's supposed to be an Israelite man teaching on these topics. He is supposed to take a back seat and listen. It's not his place to do this. Imagine me going to China, right? I set up residence in China. And now I'm over there, me, trying to teach Chinese people their culture. Do you see how backwards that look? Imagine, black man moved to China, learn a couple of things, and now I'm having classes trying to teach Chinese people about their culture. Do that look normal? Is that right? That's not right at all. If they're going to learn their culture, it's supposed to come from a kinsman. Do you understand that? But see, when we talk about biblical truth, we think that anybody can just teach this. No, it's out of pocket. That's not how it goes, fam. We got to do things in proper order. He is not supposed to be teaching nobody anything. So how is it that Dowell make him some sort of elder? Elder in what capacity? Who ordained this? Where in the scriptures did the Most High do this? Where is this? Where's the chapter and the verse? You know what I mean? If you want to follow the Most High, you can do that. You keep his commandments. You could be grafted in. But now you're not in a position to be teaching anything concerning my culture. You're not supposed to be teaching that because then perversion is going to come in. You understand? Perversion is going to come in. And that's exactly what's going on. And this is why adultery is at Straightway, because the men are following that guy. That guy is teaching on these issues. And this could be a doctrine that Dowell learned from the other cult leader that died in terms of taking other men's wives. Think about how many other men at Straightway took somebody else's wife. Think about this. Are the men at Straightway swapping wives? In other words, well, I'm going to give this woman a bill of divorcement, but she's still in the community, and now another man marry her. I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if wives are being passed around. I wouldn't be surprised.
Or the wives, and you can even go as far as to say that the masters of the husbands had their own separate room as well. Now we know that a husband is at liberty, of course, as being the master. He's going to spend whatever time in his Ashai's private chambers, whenever he likes. That's his place as the covering as the master's. But the fact of the matter is he had a private place to go spend time with the wife of his covenant, the one that he entered into the covenant with. And so that's pretty much how I approached that topic. I also spoke on about, Yeshua himself. We're likened to, we're called his virgin bride, that he's going to come and join to himself when he comes back. And
listen, he's twisting the Bible right here, because he's making it seem like the Messiah is coming back for his virgin bride so he could sleep with him. We're men. We're men. That's perverted. The way in which he's trying to paint this thing is as if though as men we're women. Anytime you see people reading the Bible and they like to compare what the Messiah says regarding his bride and this and that, people always look at it like if we're feminine. You know what I mean? They're not really understanding what's going on. You have to peep what they're trying to do. This is why these particular men are not supposed to be teaching at all, because they're only going to pervert the scriptures.
Gathers Israel as people, but in the context, he likens us to his virgin brides. And he said clearly in the book of John that, he said that in my Father's house, there are many mansions. Well, if you look behind the word mansions.
Mansions, not a bedroom. Again, he's using these verses to try to justify, right, having a house with multiple rooms to stack them with different women that he called Ishas or whatever the case is. That's what he's doing.
It means abodes or places to dwell. And he said, then I have prepared a place in those mansions. And in those mansions, I've prepared a place. So in the abodes behind the word place is actually a spot or a separate location. So, even Yeshua is building on the same context and the same customs. That
the Messiah didn't even have place to rest his head, according to the Bible. He said, foxes have holes and birds of the air have a nest, but the Son of Man don't have a place to rest his head. He ain't even have a house. And see, this is what I mean by how they pervert polygyny. They pervert it because the way they're looking at it is they're looking at it as, hey, you know what? I'm going to just gather me all these women, all these wives, just to have them. First of all, here's the thing. You got these women. Are you having kids with them? See, this is one of the biggest issues I got with these men that claim they got all these wives, right? But they're not having no kids. How you got all these wives, right? But you ain't having no kids. What are you really doing? You got all these wives, but you ain't producing. Where's the fruit? It don't make no sense to pull this woman in as a wife if she ain't bringing forth seed. Because, see, what I see is just a lot of men bringing women in so they could just sleep with them. That's it. And they call that polygyny. No, that's not polygyny, because polygyny is building community, building family. If you're just taking women to be wives and you ain't producing with these women bringing forth seed, then basically you're just trying to have booty calls that you have different times of the day, because you're not really producing no family. And this is one of the big signs that will let you know when a brother is pimping by using polygyny to pimp the women. How you with a woman 10, 15 years and she ain't bring forth no babies? How is that even possible? You've been with this woman all this time, no babies yet? What are y'all doing? Oh, she's my wife, bro. Wife in what capacity? She ain't bring forth no seed. When you gonna have a kid? What is her purpose? Oh, I get it. She's just there to lay on her back, right? I get it. Let's get back to the tape.
Yah's holy people have been walking and practicing for thousands of years. I mean, I don't know what kind of a challenge that would be in a woman's mind to be, put in the same room with another Shia and the husband in there at the same time, whether it's purity and there's nothing intimate going on or just laying there. But I would think that would be just to the Ashayas, that would be incredibly uncomfortable, because it's a matter of privacy. Women are the weaker vessel. They should be afforded that place of security in their own private quarters. Again, in a home that's a bedroom that has a door on it or something, right? So when the husband goes in there, when the wife goes in there, the Shia, she's got her prayer closet already in that bedroom. She has her separate place to go ahead and spend time with the Most High. She has that separate place for her and her husband to spend time together.
All of this is my teaching, Y'all not hearing it? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard me teach this. Because I talked about this. And it seemed like these guys, they take the things that I teach and then they pervert it. That's what I'm listening to here. Because when I teach brothers to deal with women under polygyny, if you ain't building family, you don't need that woman. I'm not just getting with a sister just to get with her to have her around just so I can sleep with her, but I ain't bringing forth no seed. It makes no sense. I don't need her. If you're a brother and you practicing polygyny and the women you got ain't bringing forth seed, what is your purpose? See, that's where we have problems. And this is one of the reasons why, in my opinion, a lot of men that try to practice polygyny is doing it the wrong way, because they're just trying to gather multiple women for the purpose of just sleeping with these women. That's all it really is. Because if you're really about this life, you'll be bringing forth seed. Your wives are supposed to be pregnant. If they're not, I question you. I question what's your motive. What are you doing? What are you doing? You want to just look good? You want to have a bunch of women around you to look good? Fam, if you ain't bringing forth seed, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are these women purpose? I mean, what exactly are they doing around the house? What are they doing? Nobody's taking care of no kids because nobody got any kids. So what are they doing? What are you doing? Using them. That's it. Back to the tapes.
Because when you're in the whole of the home, and the kitchen's the other place, it's a family interaction. But you go behind that closed door, obviously it's there for the private quality time between the master and his Ashaya, the husband and wife.
Notice what he said: the master and his Shia, his wife. Fam, I don't need no woman to be calling me master to stroke my ego. Any man that need a woman to keep calling him master all day, you're sick. I thought the Messiah is the master. I don't recall any of the disciples being called master. So why these men at Straightway have women calling them master? That's what slaves did, y'all. They got these women trained like slaves, man. Ladies, you're not supposed to be out here calling no man master. Do you understand? I don't care if he's your husband. What are you calling him master? No. You don't do that. He's your husband. You call him by your name, by his name. Or you call him by a pet name that you make up that you like, and y'all know each other by these names. But you don't call him master. You don't do that. Don't be like the women at Straightway. That's very degrading. Let's go.
So again, the Bible gives us, I believe, great enough clarity to, demonstrate that a woman that's especially in a polygynous marriage is definitely afforded her own private dwelling place. Again, that's a room in a house or whatever. Okay, come on, most of us don't have the big bucks to go out here and build, quote, tents for every one of our wives. It's just modern day homes. I sure know I don't.
So you don't. But I thought Straightway build houses. So that mean that you guys at Straightway, y'all really can't build separate houses for your wives. Right? I mean, with all the videos you guys got doing all this work that y'all claim y'all doing, I would expect all of y'all to have mansions by now. So which one is it? You know? Because you can have a house and you could build another section of the house. I mean, if y'all got land, you can have the main house and then build a sectional house on the side or on the other side. That way, the second wife, third wife, whatever the case is, she have more than just a room. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, a room, it would be sufficient, but she should have a little more, if that makes sense. If you got a community and you got land, you guys should be able to do way more. And again, to the listening audience, there's 3 ways you can practice polygyny as a man. You can deal with women accordingly, because in today's day, women have their jobs, they have their careers, they got their homes, they got their own apartment, they got their car, they make their own money, they're doing their own thing. So if you get into a relationship with a woman and you and her dealing with each other and y'all kicking it, it can go to the next level where she got her crib, she got her place, and you come visit her. And that's just how y'all gonna work that situation out. This is modern times. It is what it is. If you're a woman and you protest against that and say, well, I don't want that, he got to put me in another house, so you're going to leave your house to go get with this man. Remember, society is backwards. Society taught women to go out there and get their bag, get their money, get their place, go out there and establish yourself. So now that you did all of that, are you willing to give that up for a man? I doubt you're willing to do that. I doubt that you're willing to go give up all the things you worked on building in order to get with a man, and then something end up happening and now you're stuck. So the first option is to deal with a woman where she is. The second option is, if you're the type of brother and you purchase a home, right, you can have your wives in that one home where they have their own room and so forth. Do you understand me? But see, the way in which things got to be done is based on respect. In other words, under polygyny, there's no orgies, there's no threesomes, there's no, I'm just out there fooling around with 1,000 women when I got wives home. Can't do that. You got to respect yourself and you got to respect your wives. So you can't be out there dibble-dabbling with women. You can't do that. You can't be sleeping around with another man's wife. You can't be doing that. Do you understand me? That's the second option. And typically, that would be even better, because why? Your women are in the same place. Because here's the thing. If you have, and you have some people like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm this, I'm never sharing. Ladies, please, you're wasting your time telling me. I really don't care. I'm living my life. I could care less what you're doing. All I know is, to all the women that say stuff like, well, I'm not doing this, I'm not sharing no man, the question I'm going to ask you is, what's your body count? How many men you slept with? Are you sleeping with the man that you're dealing with right now? When was the last time you did this? Or how many relationships you've been in? Because that's going to tell me a pattern of how you live. So if you already done dated and slept with 60 guys, it tells me everything I need to know about you. It tells me that you really don't believe in monogamy. You are living a lifestyle of polyamory, which means, as a woman, you want to have multiple men. You want to sleep with as many men as you can. And that is typical of what's going on in today's day. None of these women in today's culture are monogamous. They're not. They sleep around with multiple men. You're not fooling me. So when I teach on polygyny, I don't want to hear anything. You can cry a river. It's not making me stop being me. You could do you. All I'm saying is, while you live in this monogamous, I'm enjoying my single life, I want you to ask yourself the question, within 1 year, how many men you slept with? That's the $1 million question. Only you have the answer to that. And don't lie to yourself.
And are there some that can? Yeah, but anyway, I mean, just having a separate a bedroom to themselves and in a home is more than totally adequate and acceptable. So, but again, too, and if you're a husband and if you're an Israelite man and you're considering entering into a polygynous type of family structure, you better sure as hell be able to make the accommodations for every one of your Ashayas, you know. And
notice you got to make the accommodations. I get all of that. I get all of that. But the problem that I got with these guys is that they're gathering wives and they're not bringing forth seed. They're not bringing forth babies. They're not bringing forth no children. If you get with a woman, the first thing, listen, my mind is focused on building family. If I'm entertaining a woman, I'm not entertaining her just so I can sleep with her and then send her way. I'm trying to build family. That's the goal. That's the only reason why she's here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because how are we to build a bond together if we haven't even developed any children? This is why I don't understand when these guys have all these wives. I don't know what kind of bond y'all got when y'all didn't even have no kids together. Because having these kids together is what's going to build that bond that you have with that woman. I'm just giving you the truth. Because if you just got these women just to have them around, but you ain't bring forth no kids, I question the love you claim you have for them. I really do. I question that love because I don't think it's really there. I think it's more of a feeling that you just want to have like a variety of women. But when you're really, really serious about polygyny, the women that you deal with, you're going to be breeding them up. All of them going to be bringing forth kids, and you're going to have purpose for why you're with them. So it's not just, I just got a woman and she brought kids for me, but you have a purpose for her. That way, as you deal with her, she's not just a woman in the house in a bedroom, but you gave her purpose and you gave her opportunities where if something was to happen to you, she'll be taken care of because you taught her how to financially take care of business, because you showed her the ropes. You showed her, look, this is how you make money. This is what you need to do. And you taught her these things. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you guys, you be wanting the women to be stay-at-home moms. If she's a stay-at-home mom, if something happened to you, what is she going to do? This is why a lot of women, they look down on marriage. They look down on being a wife or being a mother, a stay-at-home mother, because, again, society taught them you don't want to do that because if something happened, then what? You'll be stuck. You'll be on the soup line. You'll be begging bread. And they're like, you know what? I'd rather just work, have my job, and be single. And in the process of doing that, she's sleeping around with everybody. You get what I'm saying? And then by the time she's ready to settle down, none of the guys want to settle down with her because she grew in age. You know, so her market value went down. You know, because typically men are more attracted to the younger woman because she's in her youth. She's in her prime. That's the time in which she can breed. You understand? So when a woman get older, she's in her 40s and 50s, you know, a brother is typically not looking for you. He's really not. I'm just being honest. And I'm talking about a real man. He's not looking for you. He'll sleep with you, but he's not looking for you to be a wife. You know what I mean? Now, under polygyny, you have a lot of guys that they'll just take women in and call them wives, not because they're trying to have children and build a family, but because they just want to use them for sex. These are the facts. And you come here, I'm going to give you the facts straight. I'm not interested in a woman just to deal with her, to bang her and leave her. I'm interested in building family. That is the purpose for which you have these women for. That way, once she bear children for you, now she understands her role as a mother. So in the process of her being a mother, now it causes you to be a provider. Why? Because you have a responsibility to your children, to your seed. So now you're going to be working even harder as a man because you're trying to make sure that your children have an inheritance. But if all you got women around you for is just to sleep with them, it's not going to make you work harder as a man. It's going to make you just sit down and just think you a pimp at this point. Let's get back to the tape.
By meaning that, not only a place where they can feel secure and comfortable under your roof, but also you have to be able to afford to take care of them and be able to provide those things before you get into this. So, in this ministry, we do our best to make sure that we don't, that we kind of stave off or ward off, some of these intents by some of these brothers that obviously can't adequately financially, supply for their families. And give the privacy to their Ashayas as after they take them in a covenant marriage. So I think I'm making good enough sense.
You said taken in a covenant marriage. A question I have for you, Becker. Did you commit adultery with Jaime's wife? Did you do that? Because that's not a covenant. That's adultery. Did you sleep with that man's wife? Get on camera and answer the question. Get on camera and answer the question. And I need for Jaime to confirm. If you're still communicating with your ex, we need that confirmation. Is it Elder Becker? We need to know that. We really do need to know that. I don't know. Maybe he came into the chat. I don't know. I can't really read every single comment that's coming in, but we need that answer. You understand? Because he's the chief elder. So, and he's the one I believe they call Doug. I believe I hear a lot of Pastor Dowell is always calling somebody Doug, Elder Doug. I think this is the same guy. I think that's who it is. That's the same guy. So I'm like, listen, you need to come on camera and fess up and confess your sins, sir. Confess those sins. Because why would you be teaching and talking about polygyny if that's not what you're into? Which means you're into that. So that means you most likely had 2 or more wives at Straightway. You understand? So you're most likely the man. You're the man that was most likely messing around with Jaime's wife. How dare you, sir? How dare you mess with another man's wife? And then try to quote scriptures. This ain't right, man.
And you can even go into the thing with the woman in her issue, right? I mean, obviously it only makes good sense that she had her own tent, because everything in the tent was back then biblically unclean. And could you imagine 2 women, 2 wives sharing the same tent back then? Well, wouldn't they be touching or sharing the same things, the objects, or maybe, would they be sleeping in one bed? More than likely, but the whole of it is she was put away for her uncleanliness. And why would you add somebody else or have somebody else in there, more specifically another Shia that would also become ceremoniously unclean? But that's just an example. I don't want to go on building on it too much, but and again, there's no detailed specifics about this privacy thing, but we can get little tidbits here and there throughout the word that yes, in fact, it was part of the custom of our people, and I believe it always has been. So, but rounding this out, that's pretty much the whole of the answer I provided for these brothers that had asked, and it kind of. I understand that we have questions and we have concerns, and I do know that there are very serious-minded people at this ministry and elsewhere. But at this ministry, we definitely are serious-minded, and we have a really heart's desire to please the Most High and to keep His ways the best that we can. So we're going to get questions, but asking questions like that, about a woman's privacy and. It kind of gets me thinking what else is being thought up in the mind. I hope there's nothing immoral or nothing sexually impure or absolutely perverted and sick that is entering some of these brothers' heads, because that stuff, as sure as hell, won't be tolerated here.
Really? Won't be tolerated here? Are you sure about that, Elder Becker? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? What about Dowell? What about Mama Nellie? He took her as wife. That's Eric's wife. You said nothing perverted will be done at Straightway. Pastor Dowell took Eric Gonzalez's wife and made her his wife. And he's prancing around in videos like it ain't nothing. She could wear all the head wraps. She could put on all the robes, wear all the dresses. Adultery is adultery. Can't cover that up. I'm just saying now. You said there's no perverted stuff going on at Straightway, but it is. What about your sin? What about what you've done? What have you done with Jaime's wife? Did you do it? And where is she now? Did you give her a bill of divorcement? Because it's Straightway that forced her hand to go get that divorce. And she probably regretted it and wanted to leave. And I'm sure many other women done the same thing. This is sad, man. And they really try to pose like they're men of the Most High. These men are not men of the Most High. They're guilty. Very, very guilty. Let's get back to the tape. Let's get back to the tapes, guys, because this is crazy. We're going to review Jaime's testimony after this.
I mean, if you get that sick kind of mindset, you want to have a threesome or whatever it may be, I don't want to get too grossly blunt, but I'm just putting it for real. You got problems. You got some serious spirits perversion, and it will get dealt with if it gets found out.
Notice what he just said. If you're interested in threesomes or whatever the case is, you'll get dealt with because your mind is perverted. I get all of that. But it's interesting how he say that you'll be dealt with for perversion, but yet Dowell is sleeping with another man's wife. The community know what it is. They know when she came to Straightway, she came with her husband, Eric. But now Nellie is in Dowell's bed and everybody at the church don't have no problem. What kind of sinful place is that, man? That's sick, y'all. That's sick, man. Absolutely sick, bro. People could be in these churches. The pastor is clearly in adultery. Listen, Dowell cannot even answer. That man is in gross adultery. I proved everything by the scriptures. I proved everything. There's no getting around it. He's guilty. Sad, man. Sad how men don't want to repent. It's sad.
I hope you have a shy that's going to come forth and actually speak on this stuff. Jesus, anyway. So anyway, I hope I made my point, gave you some clarity about this, and I believe that my clarity, my vision is pretty clear on this. So with that, anyway, I'll say greetings, saints, and I hope you have a great day, and that keep your eyes on the Most High, okay?
Blessings, y'all. Well, I decided to do another video because once I seen Ringo's, how he broke down my testimony, and I think there's some unanswered questions, and the ending of my story as well. I know it was hard to remember everything, you know, so like I said, I might forget some of the stuff that I wanted to say and all that. So I wanted to explain the rest of it, I guess, because there's a little bit more that was left out on my part, and there wasn't no clarification of what happened to my wife or anything like that, and I wasn't there no more. So that's why I didn't really say anything, because I figured somebody else would. So I'm going to tell you the part that I know, what my daughter told me and my ex-wife.
Wow.
And what happened after I left too. There was a little bit I left about that.
Notice he said what his daughter told him and his ex-wife. So she most likely spilled the beans on what went down and what happened and so on and so forth. Let's go.
So after I left, I'm gonna kind of get back to where I left off in the other video. After that brother told me that and I figured everything out, blah, blah, blah. So I started trying to get my life to get, this wasn't shortly after. I got divorce papers in the mail at my daughter's house.
Wow.
This was from Straightway. It was sent from Heather, but you could see how detailed and what it all is and said.
Which means somebody from Straightway put the paperwork together. Do you get that?
You could tell who did it. It was Heather. Just wasn't going to do all. She didn't know how to do all that like it was.
Right.
Anyways, so on these divorce papers, it said that I wouldn't go after her for any type of child support, this or that, and they wanted me to sign these. I'm like, I ain't signing shit. Sorry, but I ain't signing shit.
Now notice they wanted him to sign the paperwork to finalize that divorce, and also so that he don't get no child support or anything. Now, why would his ex have that paperwork already done ready? That's something that Straightway did with many people, and they probably have the documents already set. You get what I'm saying? Like they already have a PDF file already written up because they have different men that study how to do these things legally so that it doesn't affect nothing with the community, if that makes sense. So they use that on his wife so that she can get him to sign the papers. But listen to what he say next.
No. And, huh? She's trying to give me divorce papers. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha there. So I didn't sign no papers. Nothing. So what they did was, by law, you can act like you can't find the person. So you can submit like a thing in the newspaper or something. And if they don't respond, like a missing person,
wow.
If they don't respond, she has legal right to divorce me without me even signing anything.
Do you see that? That's exactly how they did it. In other words, rather than waiting for him to sign, they already know. Listen, at Straightway, they already know all the legalities. They understand the loopholes that are in the system. In other words, hey, since he didn't want to sign, you know what you could do? Go out there, put something in the papers. If he don't respond, that means he's missing. I don't know where he is. So legally, I could, just divorce him, and it's certified. It's okay. And this was all under Straightway, y'all. Straightway did this, not the wife. She didn't know how to do this. He even confirmed she didn't know nothing about this. This is what they did in order to get her in bed. Let's go.
I never signed a paper ever. One paper.
Wow.
Never with our divorce. But we got divorced. That's how they did it. They did that just like that. That's how they divorced us. So yeah.
So think about how many people right now that is at Straightway might have used that same method. You probably had women that came to Straightway and, for whatever reason, they came there and the elders and everybody was probably like, so are you married? Like, have you ever been married? Yeah, my husband is dead. Well, we're going to have to fix that. We're going to have to fix that because if you're here, we can't have you still connected to that man. But how long you haven't been with him? Oh, about 2 years. Okay, so we're gonna put the paperwork together to think about that. Think about what I'm saying now. That had to happen, fam. Let's get back to the tapes.
And I didn't know we were divorced. I don't know. It was a while before I found out, actually. It was like, I'm not sure the time, but it was like 9-12 months. It was almost a year or something. It might even been over a year before I actually found out we were divorced.
Meaning he didn't even know. They were already divorced. He just found out over a year ago or whatever the case is in the timing that he meant. That's crazy.
I had no clue.
Meaning, and here's another thing that you have to understand. He didn't want to go get no divorce. He wasn't signing because he's not the one that initiated this. Somebody put a battery in his wife's back to do this so that they can get her legally by the state. Now, notice this. At Straightway, they'll tell you, don't get married or whatever by the state, right? But yet they use all of the state's loopholes, laws, and various other things in order to separate men from their wives. Make it make sense. Think about that. They'll tell you don't get married by the state, which is a good thing. But my point is, they'll tell you don't get married by the state. But at the same time, they use the loopholes and the provisions set forth in order to get women separated from their husbands in order to make these women their wives. That's wicked, fam. Absolutely wicked. Let's get back to the tapes.
Because I never got anything about it. Nothing. The only thing I ever got was that paper that they sent me that they wanted me to sign, basically clearing all my rights because Dowell didn't want to give up no money.
Wow.
Because after I left, what I was told was she went back to Tennessee. I'm not sure how long she was there. I thought they said it was like a couple weeks, but I'm not sure. I don't know because, like I said, I wasn't there. So that's why I didn't speak on it, because I don't know. But guess what else?
Guess what else, people? Guess what else? Man, oh man.
Guess what else I got to say? And I'm not trying to dog her in any way at all on any of this, because I understand the manipulation she was under. I don't agree with what her actions were, but I understand it, and it's forgivable, so I understand. So when I said we were friends, because she's the mother of my children.
Right, she's the mother of your children. I can understand that. You know what I mean? Which you know what I mean? A lot of times people just don't get it. You know what I mean? She's still the mother of his children. So you got to have that relationship despite her decision to do what she did. And, you know, for the children, even if you have grown children or whatever the case is, you still have to have that communication as adults. You know what I mean? But to just like ignore her because of what she did and be like, well, I don't want to have nothing to do with you forever and ever. You can't do that. You just can't do that. That's just unethical. It doesn't even make no sense. We have to learn how to be adults when we have relationships. Even if you break up on bad terms, you still have to have a level of respect for one another in terms of communicating. It'll just make life a whole lot better if you just have that understanding.
I still honor that. You get it? I mean, but like I said, it's different because...
It's different because of what he's about to say.
Basically, they convinced her to be with an elder.
Wow.
There. Yeah. Yeah. The elder's wife, she was convincing her, and I'm sure the other two Tweety birds that already been in the whole situation the whole time.
Wow.
So.
Wow. This is what's going on at Straightway. They convinced her to get with one of the elders. What kind of church is this? That's adultery. That's his wife. This is how you know it's a cult. This is how you know. Absolutely sad, man. Imagine you love your wife, went to a community seeking work to follow the Most High, and you end up losing your wife. And to add insult to injury, when you think that she just want to get a divorce, she end up getting with the elders at the church. Now she's in the elder's bed. Where is Dowell to address this? He busy hiding on his channel, doing crazy videos, talking about, a bunch of trivial nonsense. Nobody should be listening to that man. No one. These videos that I'm doing is so well put together, with so much information, so many questions. If that man was a man of Yah, that man would be answering every single question. But he can't, because he's guilty. And he knows it. He knows he's guilty. That man is sleeping with another man's wife right now. Pastor Dowell is sleeping with Eric Gonzalez's wife, the woman they call Mama Nelly is Eric Gonzalez's wife. That's right. And Straightway forced her to divorce him in order for Dowell to take her as his wife. And what's sad about this, if you originally watched Jaime's testimony, he asked Nelly, right? He asked Nelly a question regarding polygyny. In other words, what are your thoughts about this? When he asked her that, she took it the wrong way because her and Dowell was already, if you know what I mean, they were already getting down. So she reported it back to Dowell like, yo, one of your mans in them is literally over here saying, hey, he's asking me about polygyny. So I don't know. I'm just letting you know. So once that happened, they started getting into Jaime's wife's ear to cause turbulence in his home. And then Dowell probably was pressing Jaime about the situation. Like, you do know that's a married woman. You do know that, right? That's a married woman. Trying to guilt trip him and whatnot. And then the Nelly lady came to Jaime's house where he was staying at, walked in the house, and then went off in terms of saying, we can't do this. It's not right. She's my friend. So the wife is looking at him like, do what? Like, y'all got some sort of relationship going? She did that on purpose to cause them to argue. And then when she left, Jaime was looking like, I don't even know why she's doing that. Like, I never wanted her. But the wife is looking at him like, you were messing around. So they continue going in her ear, putting batteries in her back, and convinced her that he's no good. The same way they did to Eric. You get what I'm saying? Same method. This is how they take your wives. The same way they did Eric. They trashed his name and they made Nelly look at him as a bad guy, right? Because Eric had another woman who is younger and looks better than Nelly. And that pissed Nelly off. Get it? She didn't want him being with that other woman. But now look at her. She's with a man that got multiple wives. Isn't that amazing? The very thing she was against, now she's a part of it. Why? Because in her mind, she saw the land, she saw the houses being built, and she figured, hey, Dowell is a better man than Eric. He looked like he got what I need for security. He looked like the type of guy that can be a provider. But it's all built on adultery, right? So the whole time, Pastor Dowell was after Nelly, meaning he wanted her the whole time. She was in transition of getting a divorce. The same way they made Jaime's ex-wife get a divorce. All of these divorces are happening on Straightway grounds. It ain't like these women just went out and left and went into an attorney to get the paperwork to do what they need to do. Straightway was providing this counsel to finalize these divorces. This is pure evil. And now that Nelly got the divorce, once Jaime left the community, not even long after that, Dowell is courting Nelly and take her as a wife. That goes against the scriptures. because that's Eric's wife. And Eric is alive. The Bible says the woman is bound to her husband as long as he live. That's the only way. The only way a woman can remarry is if her husband be dead. Eric is alive. So why Dowell is not following what the Bible say? Because he don't believe the Bible. So it's up to you, ladies and gentlemen, to understand these things so you can make a good decision on, do you want to follow that guy? Because he's not following the Bible. So when you see him come on camera, he's trying to act like, I'm following this and the king is coming and the Bible says this. He's not following the Bible, y'all. The man is living in adultery. And for him to claim he's a pastor, a leader, no. He's leading people astray. That's what he's doing. He's leading people astray. And enough is enough with that nonsense. It shouldn't go on like that. Let's get back to the tapes.
The pastor and the head elder.
Uh-oh. You see that? The head elder. The head elder.
I thought the people should know that part too.
Wow.
Because that was something that I didn't really know what happened. I do because they both told me.
Wow.
This came from my daughter and Heather.
Wow.
Heather lives with my daughter right now still. Like I said, I'll say hi, stuff like that, but it's not like we're, you know what I'm saying? I don't.
Meaning he's not with her like that. Y'all know what he mean.
Hold no ill will, no. But it is what it is, So I figured the people should know that part, how it actually, what happened, because there's a little bit more there than just Dowell as well. And I don't know who else is doing it. But
See, he don't know who else is doing it.
Them two are doing it, it's trickling down. I guaranteed it's trickling down.
It's definitely trickling down, because if Dowell is committing adultery and the church don't even care, right? We got Elder Becker, who is also in adultery. Nobody cares. Then, I mean, come on now. It's a lot of people that's over there at Straightway that's doing this evil. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody that supported the super chat. Appreciate everybody, contributing to the show. If you're now joining in, we're talking about, hide your wives, fam. Hide your wives. Hide them. Hide your wives. Hide your daughters. Because at Straightway, they are coming for your wives. If you go there and you visit, be mindful they're going to be checking your wife out. So if your wife is attractive, she look really good, don't bring her there, because they're going to smile with you. They're going to act like they're really your brothers and sisters, but the whole time they plotting on how they can turn your wife against you. You know what I mean? So if you visit, it got to be a situation where you just kind of went there and you left. You're not really trying to stay, because if you stay, that's when they're going to start to run the operation on you. You know what I mean? They're going to get your husband to look at a woman who's married, and then they're going to try to get into your wife's ear and say that you were sleeping with her. This is what they're going to do. You were sleeping with her. You were pushing up on her. You were disrespecting her, and how you disrespected the community. And when your wife hear this, she's going to be disappointed in you that we went all the way down here and this is what you're doing. You're embarrassing me. This is not right. Now they're going to convince her that, as a pastor, my advice to you is that you should leave this guy because he's of the devil. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to give you real good counsel here at the community. We could take care of you if you need a place to stay. You have to understand, that's the type of game that they run with these women. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about this. We'll take care of you. We got houses. We got land. We'll set you up. Everything will be good. And then these women put all their trust in them. And then before you know it, they're in the bed. And then they're pregnant. That's what's going on, fam. That's what's going on. And I know they mad, but you can't stop this. This is the truth. And if it's not, prove me wrong. Let's go.
Because it's okay in their eyes. It's a bunch of bullshit in my eyes.
Facts.
So if you're there, You better watch your wife.
You better.
And I suggest you leave. And I suggest you not fellowship with them people no more. Because that leader, and obviously the elders, they're going after your wives. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. They are going after your wives.
That's it.
So, I'm not trying to make this all day long. I just wanted to finish the rest of my testimony and the journey. And this is a big part that I should have said the first time. But I was trying to keep it short, and I didn't really... It's hard to remember everything, you know. But yeah, so Ringo, I hope you play this, because this is the rest of it, and the people need to hear this part too, because it's very important that they hear this too. That's why I came back. Like I said, I'm not trying to start no trouble, but if we're talking about the truth, let's bring the truth out.
Right.
Let's not hide it or pretend we didn't see it the first time. Bullshit. Yes, I did. I seen it the first time, and I don't play no more about that. Not at all. All of my eyes are open. All of them. I see very clear. My bullshit detector's on point. Believe that. Believe that. I see clear. So, anyways, thank you again. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to play this, and I hope you do. But thank you very much. Thank you. Much love, brother. Much love. Peace.
Behold, you are weak. Embrace the shadows.
Beware of false prophets, fam. Gotta beware. Hide your wives and your daughters. Hide them. Final thoughts on this situation. Imagine how many men lost their wives at Straightway. Imagine how many men had a lot of love for their wives and they lost their faith in the Most High because of situations like this. Because it also brings a level of shame, because it's like it happens and then it's like, wow, how do I tell somebody I lost my wife to the church? It's crazy. As long as we're showing the people the truth, as long as we're asking the questions, we'll begin to wake up more people. More people are going to come forward. More people are going to make videos. And it's going to be a good thing. You know? Anyway, fam, we're gonna get up on out of here. Shout out these Cash Apps. Shout out to Katina for the support. Caramel Kimmy Kim. Jodell. Salute to you for the support. Jason. Got Corrace for the support. Corey. Appreciate you. Shout out to Revolutionary Loss for the support. Millennium Jess for the support. Salute. Shout out to V Dubman. V Dubman, moderator for the support. Appreciate you. Shout out to Tanea for your support. Tanea. So, we got more content that we're going to be working on. I got to talk about the Virgin auction block. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to deal with that. I'm still waiting for more people to come forward with their testimonies so we could get the messages out there. So peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to the mods in the chat, everybody in the building. We'll catch you in another video. Make sure you keep the Most High first. Beware of false prophets. Come to you in sheep's clothing. They're ravening wolves. They're brute beasts. So to all the brothers, all the sisters, everybody that rock with the platform, everybody that support the shows. Shout out to Kareem for the support. Peace and blessings, y'all. We out of here. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.